Welcome back, RGL friends. Welcome back to part 2 of the rest of Friday evening. This is Kirby Superstar. We've gone from many people in spandex jumping around, fighting the forces of evil, to a simple little pink puffball that just wants to eat and sleep and just, you know, relax. So yeah, we are at $696 of our $3,000 goal. Hopefully we will get that by the end of tonight! Haha! Just kidding. If we totally get there before the end of the marathon, I will completely be happy. And so will the kids. Alright. So, Kirby Superstar, any percent. This is pretty much going to be without any sort of modifications to going after the treasures in Great Cave Offensive. Other than that, it's pretty much just all mini games and all main games. And I mean main games because I don't do Samurai Kirby. My hands are too old for that. Alright, let's get started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Welcome to Spring Breeze. Is this your first time playing? No? Well, we're gonna tell you how to play anyways. Because even if you press no, it's still gonna actually make you go through the mini cutscenes anyways. Kirby, as you may know them, is someone that just has the ability to copy powers from enemies and use them for all sorts of shenanigans. Using them for speedrun is fun. This game is a little on the louder side, I think. I will adjust that just a little bit on my end for what I can. Not a great spring breeze, but it's fine. Alright, yeah, this game does get a little bit on the loud side. No, the commentary was at the same. It's just the game is a little bit louder than Power Rangers is. That should be okay now, though. Alright, here's my first switch. They call me the Ice Queen of Kirby Superstar. Why? Because my favorite powers in this game are Ice and Mirror. We won't be seeing Mirror until a little bit later, though. But no, the commentary level is at the same, just the game is louder. That's all. We are going to use Helper to store that for later, and hope Helper doesn't do that. Now that just ruined my quick kill and just cost me about a minute. Neat. Helper art, like, is some of the worst AI ever. And I cannot stand it. Okay, it wasn't a minute. That's good. That was still extra time, though. We could have just blown those up. So this is where I would normally ditch Helper and take my ice power back, but Helper decided to pull that, and here we are again. So I took my power early. There's Mirror, which I am not going to take for this run, but I will take it later. Chicken Room is the first spot you can actually die and or lose your powers. So we're going to have to just improvise here. Beam is actually extremely not good versus this boss, so I'm gonna have to take something else as fast as possible. If we can hold that, that would actually not be too bad. I kind of want to help her to just, you know, get blown up. Because it'll ruin my attacks like that. Okay. Helper is evil, as we are now seeing. This is absolutely not the power I want here, but we're just gonna have to make do and lose a ton of time in the process. Or we can just spam this and kind of achieve what we're trying to do, but not as quickly. So similar to Power Rangers, every time you weapon him, he changes his actual attack patterns. We lost about 40 seconds there. That's fine. Here's the first gourmet race, though. And if you are interested in second helpings, there is a donation incentive, which we are halfway towards right now. But the first taste you get for free, because we are generous tonight. And this is part of the category, also. No food for DDD, though. Well, okay, not as much food for DDD. Goal is simple. 3 stages, get more food than DDD. Wins will count as 30 food. So the wins are technically more important than losing a few things here or there. All the food you can ever want. Kirby's eating well tonight. That's a higher score than I usually get. The third one will introduce your power-up list right here, or at least part of the list. We're gonna take Wing here. Runners of more top tier than me will actually take Jet, but I actually do not like using that power. It is rather annoying to use. So Wing is actually a pretty decent alternative to it. It's definitely not as fast, but you can use your momentum to actually carry you along a little bit faster than you would be through Jets, unless you're short charging. That was actually not good momentum at all. Normally you would try to glide into there and it would give you an actual speed boost through it, but that was really, really bad. But if you feather just a little bit, you can actually use that forward momentum really well. It's just you have to button mash with the actual climb instead of just holding the button down with Jet. Do 13. That's way higher than I usually do. My usual highs for that is around like 200-ish. So all the food. Dynablade is usually where I'll die, but it's not usually until Dynablade in which I actually do die. Because she is actually kind of scary. Mama Bird is dangerous. And as we all know, birds are jerks. Cutter is pretty simple. You can actually go into a attack combo with it, but that is really slow. We don't want to do that. Dash Cutter is actually fairly powerful for trash bombs. It's not good versus bosses though, so I am losing all my momentum. Ice cream bar. If you have beam right there, you can totally grab that one up over there, but we're not. Oh wow, that was a troll. That was sort of helpful. It got us up there like a tiny bit faster, but I don't think deboosting right there is really good because the animation kind of negates it. You can grab that crash right there if you want to, but we don't need to. Just need to get rid of that. Chef Kawasaki is down, and we are on to the next stage. If you're going for speed, definitely just hit the button as quick as you can. If you're going for power, you can get a 1-up if you go all the way through full meter or close to. Stage 2, we're going to get our mirror power for the first time and use it to kind of just cheese through everything. Because mirror is really good defensively, and it's pretty decent offensively if you know how to use it, which I've definitely practiced it long enough. We're going to grab one now, and proceed to run through the rest of the... I'd say at least the rest of the stage with it. Because you can pick up a hammer in stage 3, and that's actually way stronger offensively, but... take that a little bit safe. There he is. A little bit of an auto-scroller for you right there. I'm gonna grab this and then I'm gonna get rid of Mirror probably. At least Mirror Helper. Because Wheel is really good for mobility. It's like the third fastest thing in the game pretty much, behind Wing and Jet. But unlike Wing, this is actually a really bad offensive tool. And I am just gonna go ahead and move on with this. We're gonna get a health refill because this is the end of the stage anyway, so I'm not gonna grab the rest of them. In stages 2 and 4, there are secret switches if you're going for the 100% route. You will need Mirror for the first one, and for the second one you will need a different power than that, so... something to keep in mind. When we first got Mirror on stage 2, that's where you actually need to have that particular power to get that switch. Beam may or may not work. I'm taking it safely. But Mirror is definitely the intended way of doing it. If you have Hammer, this part is incredibly free. If you have Mirror, it's pretty free, but you're going to go through it a little bit slower, because you're not rolling through and like with Hammer. If you're using anything else, it's pretty much slower. Unless you're going the 100% route, in which case you would have access to the secret room full of half of the power-ups in the game, and you can choose from there. I do not want to lose that. Losing that would actually mean taking Yo-Yo, which is also one of my favorites, but I'd rather not. I'm gonna take the safety food here. Normally would not go in this room, but we were really low health right there. And I don't want to lose mirror. Usually you're nice, but not today. Ice is nice here. I kind of want to just run mirror this time though. But ice is one of my favorite power-ups, so it's actually really good to use here. Actually, ice is intended to go down there, but using mirror, it's actually kind of difficult, so I'm just gonna skip it. Don't take the third one, it's just gonna launch you against it and make you go slower, and we don't want that. We want to go fast to feed the kids, right? That is why we're here. Coming up right here is Bugsy. Bugsy is insanely weak to ice. Like, it's almost a one-shot, pretty much. It's just a very free boss, but since I know mirror as well as I do, it's also a free boss. Stage 4 is a little bit on the long side. Still not really dangerous, though. This is a very good Kirby game to learn if you're new to actually playing Kirby games. There's a lot of fun powers to play. The game is pretty free. There's not too many difficult sections that would make you, like, think you're gonna get a lot of difficulty to it. I knew that. I was waiting for it to actually not go up in the air to try and grab me out of the air. I think it's nice if you're in go fast mode. I prefer to play for fun mode while still being fast. This part's a little bit bad because you can have your power stolen here by all the thieves ever. So I'm gonna try to keep my mirror as best as possible here. And not die? That'd be great. I don't like those. There we go. Having to wait for that was kind of weird. And I'm definitely gonna take my time around that. My silence is the fact that I'm trying to keep my power. There's a max tomato right here, thankfully. That was kind of rough. Don't get grabbed. Grabs is bad. You can lose like half your health in one grab because Snow Brothers. I think it's faster to just melee twice and get rid of them that way. Pretty free room, thankfully. So we're still on a decent pace here. Going into Dyna, we actually have a power that we want. Everybody's selection of power is going to be, you know, personal difference. There's a few right there to pick from just in case you have nothing and you don't have any of the secret rooms open without having to go through a full stage. Most of them for this boss suck though, so we're not going to use those. That was an extremely tame Dynablade. Gotta love it. I see what you did there. That was a really good, really good Kirby pun, because that's the name of the monster, is Bonkers. Fun facts, if you have a helper, the helper will adopt whatever original name the monster had. Great Cave Offensive, again, the difference between any percent and 100% is going to be the fact we're not getting treasures here, which skips a lot of time. Because similar to Zelda, you have box opening text boxes, and it just takes forever, so why would we want to do that? We have more kids to feed. A lot of the star rooms are going to be save points in Great Cave Offensive though, because this is very generous. It's one of the longer games out there, so the game wants to value your time and inputs. Either wing or fighter is going to work here just fine. You can't go wrong either way, it just plays a little bit differently. Now, if you play Hundo, there is some probably different powers you would actually use to actually go through all of this. But you know, I gotta go fast. Also, this fight is handled very differently depending on what power you have. Some fights with some powers are a little bit easier because you can just force him to fall off the edge, but if you want the actual hammer, or you don't have a good power that can break those blocks, like I do, you just want to kind of run with that. Going kick there might have accidentally gone into Hadouken, which would have got reflected, which is why I grabbed it instead. Double kill. You can grab mirror right there, or you can just wait. Throwing things around is a lot funner, even if it's a lot slower. I'm gonna switch here. Fatty Whale 1. This is the boss you're going to see multiple times throughout this run. If you have ice here and you kept that from earlier, you can freeze the rocks and it does a crap ton of damage if it runs into them. Which is actually a pretty solid strat we would use in other runs. Not a bad Fatty Whale though. Between each section, you're going to have a minecart, which, if you double tap the brakes, is going to cause you to get a little bit of a speed boost going out instead of accelerating normally. But you're invincible while you're in the minecart, so just chill for a little bit and relax your hands and grab some water. Not going to doors properly. The other rooms will lead to more treasure, but we're not collecting that because this isn't 100%. There are power thieves in here, though. And if you get your power stolen, you have a little bit of time to get it back before it runs away and just kind of catapults into the sky. Welcome to RPG 1. This introduces a fun little mini-game right here. You're going to be seeing RPG 3 times in this run. The first time you get 2 enemies that are not going to be used in the other ones, which are Slime and Doll. Smack in the face. Which is going to be your default character you're going to see in the first battle and the rest of them. Mirror is really great for avoiding all damage. Now is an excellent time to hydrate because you have to stick through a wall of text. So, you know, stay hydrated. And get some randomly generated fun points, like Happy Smile. Don't get a fever, but get lots of love. You know? I guess if you want fever points, you can play Dr. Mario instead, but it's just better to chill. Song preferences. Best part of the run, which makes it a lot different than 100%. Castle? I don't know, yo. That saves a ton of time. And that's why I don't do 100%, is because that castle is really annoying and long. Jump the switch, because that opens up a bunch of monsters. I'm probably gonna get grabbed here. Or hurt a lot. Oh, give me my power back. Give me my mirror back, man. Owies. Okay, because I just got hit really hard right there, I'm actually gonna take those. Things you would never see me do in a normal run, but Ninja can hit you extremely hard. Exclamation point, Ninja. Now that's a command on RGL that needs to be brought back. I miss it. Lots of springs here, which will catapult you several floors back upstairs, and we don't want that. Ice is pretty good against this boss. Bomb's not too bad, and Umbrella will protect you, but it's not going to deal much damage, really. Wham Bam Rock 1, pretty simple. You have your choice of powers from a little bit, and you're just going to kind of just blast through it. The RNG is not present in this fight because it's pretty much fixed for the first few sets of attacks. Yep. Nice simple final boss for Great Cave Offensive. Not a scratch on us too. So if you're interested in a second course of leftovers for Gourmet Race, we're going to be closing that incentive in about 40-45 minutes. Because we've got a couple more games coming up, and then we've got one big arena full of everything. And that will be the run, so get your donations in if you haven't already. Great Cave Offensive is also the longest credit sequence, pretty much, because it gives you a list of all the treasures you've gotten. Who wants to sit through that, though? Unless you're playing Hundo. And if you're playing speedrun versus casual, right? Revenge of Meta Knight is nice because it has plot, but at the same time it's not nice because it has plot and it's actually kind of slow. You're gonna see me keep this yo-yo as long as possible, because this is actually a pretty decent offensive power to it. Got a little bit of evasion utility too if you know how to press down up and then use the what? It's called spiral something. I'm trying to bury it. You cannot kill heavy lobster here, just like mess around with it and don't lose your ham. Don't lose your yo-yo here. Or you'll be forced to scrounge around for power-ups, and that's not ideal at all. I wish I had hammer. You were supposed to die from that. Pretty bad Grave Gardens, actually. We're gonna have to not hopefully get hit by that, but we're kind of in trouble already. Okay, very safe strats fighting those. That is an enemy of which I do not remember the name of, and thanks, Wing. I appreciate you. So yeah, remember the boss that we don't know the name of? I have to fight it again. With a worse power-up. Kind of unfortunate losing the yo-yo there. What can I say? That death really deflated me. That's right, Kirby jokes. Gotta love them. There is food available in this water maze, so that's why I'm trying to not die. That was kind of scary. Fortunately, your wings also act as hitboxes, so that just saved the run right there. Normally in Revenge of Meta Knight, there is one room I will die on quite regularly, and that was not one of them. A little bit of an auto-scroller here, but I already know the pattern of it, so we're just gonna kind of chill. And we're at the top already. Did I say this was actually a chill thing? No, this is actually kind of crazy right here. Because the speed does pick up pretty quickly. You can die if you get squished against the wall, so don't get squished. I want that. Out of the three powers that are there, this is probably the best versus Wispy Woods and double Wispy Woods. Again, I'd rather have my yo-yo here, but getting good is on the plate tonight. Beware, you can die if it is actually spit out a Gordo and you get bonked right there, and you'd have to redo the whole thing, so just be careful. Bad part about Bomb, it is very bad mobility-wise. We're actually going to lose some time here. And by some, I mean a lot. Thankfully we didn't get grabbed there. Good news, there is other power-ups that we are more used to using right here. Except when they want to run away from us. When something is frozen, it does not hurt you anymore, so that's good news. The reason why I prefer ice in this game is just because it's incredibly high damage per second. I'm going to let Helper take the fall here. Sadly, it didn't die. Like, you would be thinking, oh hey, having a second AI right there is actually really cool, right? Because it actually lets you do all sorts of things and beat the baddies. Well, Helper AI is extremely bad. If you have a second person to play with you, this game is amazing, because Helpers can do all sorts of shenanigans, like be permanently invincible, stuff like that. Helper AI is really bad. And it ranges from bad to, oh my gosh, why do you exist, bad. Changing to fire is required here, I'll be dumping it in a moment. Okay, it's gonna be required for more than 1 second, so bad. Chili's just kind of just sitting there, chilling. Dancing along to the beat. So Dynablade forgave us earlier, and she's giving us a ride. And then she gets shot down, so rip Dynablade. Okay, so I waited right there, because Helper has a bad habit of dashing into your power-ups if you throw them right, and I do not want fire again. That was only because I needed it. If you're low on health, this coming up section can be kind of scary too, with all the enemies it's going to throw at us, so just be careful. Because you have regular enemy gauntlets. Thankfully, we have one of the best damage per second items and weapons in the game, so... Alright, so we're gonna be fighting Twin Cannon coming up next. This boss is actually kind of scary. No! My elevator. Alright. Remember that ninja stuff I was talking about earlier with, exclamation point ninja and everything? This is the room that it's dedicated to. This room, I die in more than anything else in this entire run on a consistent basis. Thankfully, didn't die here. Fire is going to be your other backup source for dealing a ton of damage to this safely. I have no interest in safety. Which is why I did really bad things like that. You can get away with being like around here and then just aiming your fire upwards with the directional pad and just be incredibly safe. Risking it for the biscuit, friends. Very nice finish. Did I mention that ice projectiles are extremely powerful and the fact you can just get them as a throw is really, really awesome? Oh, okay, there you go. Now you know. Gordos. Feels bad. If you have ice projectiles on the screen, though, they do cause lag, so you kind of want to just shoot them away if you can. Okay, game. I see how it is. Thank you! Don't feel too scared if you drop down a little bit. You have plenty of leeway before you fall to your doom. This game is very generous on that particular note. There we go. Nice and simple. Despite being made of ice, Kirby has no chill. Oh, that is a great pun, I appreciate it. Shout out to Big Mike, who does a lot of Godzilla and is a very, very friendly guy. I appreciate him very much. One of our lovely moderators here. Is Kirby lost? No, it's not part of the master plan. The biggest thing. Alright, so welcome to Heavy Lobster Part 2. For the first parts of this, he is completely invincible, so if you have a helper here, your helper is going to try to fight him to hilarious results. You can also just kind of like, I believe that's in the world record run, it kind of just guards through that and lets Heavy Lobster go through everything. I'd rather just play the game. Alright, once you see this line right here, you're good to go because the fight starts now. Heavy Lobster has different attack patterns. Sometimes it'll short charge, other times it'll dash all the way across the screen. Every time it opens claws, it has about a 50-50 to go ahead and either throw something at you to shoot backwards, or it's going to flamethrower you. Flamethrower is obviously not preferential. We have Heavy Lobster though. Kirby's outside, he's going under the ship. Hey, where'd Kirby go? A little bit of a hidden area here. You get the access to a couple different powers you didn't have before. If you have a helper, you want to preferably save your crash that you just got for later. But I don't, so... Not a bad wing section. If you have yo-yo here, you can totally cheese that by firing it through the wall, but I do not, so... Gonna move on. Speaking of yo-yos, though, you can totally grab it, like, right here. A little bit downstairs. Nice. Nice block, press it for us, and you have to actually go over there. Saves like a second. Grabbing the safety one up here, though. Or perhaps the point of me dying consistently on a spot, so it never hurts to replenish your stock just in case. If you have yo-yo or pretty much any other power that's actually long range, you can totally fire that through the wall and get access to another secret room for some more food. But that would be an all-food category, in which case, you know, that might be a future run, I submit. I'm actually gonna break that first one. You actually spam reflect lasers in order to deal with this boss, but Getting rid of this right here frees up a lot of lag, so I kind of want to just do that first. That was a really good hit. Okay. Now without its primary weapon, it's going to start focusing a lot more than it actually goes for the bottom things. Could be good. There you go. You have to spam B here, which is kind of funny, because you would set down the controller right there, but you kind of just have to force to float yourself, so it's funny. You've never seen that cloud room? Really? I'm glad I got to show it to you. There's a lot of hidden rooms in Revenge of Meta Knight that most people don't know about. I've done some of them this run. There are others that exist, of course. Your choice of 5 powers right there. I would grab Yo-Yo if I had nothing, but thankfully I have ice all the way through. Bird stomped. Oh, that's glorious. That was a wonderful pun. GG. I guess that makes me Seth Rollins, I guess. No, I want that back. No! I actually think I die here. Wow. Okay, I'm getting that yo-yo now. That was a funny death. That was great. So taking that one up earlier was a great idea. Oh my goodness. Ice pretty much makes this entire rest of the game really easy, but we don't have that anymore, so we're just gonna have to run with this. Oh my goodness. When you can laugh at your own deaths instead of actually getting mad, that's when you've actually mastered your game. And it was all because of that guy right there that completely screwed us over. It wasn't the sleep, it was the monster before it. Thank you, RGLbot. We definitely appreciate you letting us know that this is a charity marathon, and all of our wonderful money goes towards Random Acts, which is help feed the kids once again. Glorious marathon. Full of lots of me. Lots of my bad deaths. Yo-Yo throw is actually somewhat powerful, but it's definitely not as powerful as Ice Throw. Nor is it as long of range. I'm going to show you another trick that most people don't know right here. Because we actually have Meta Knight 1. You can do this in Meta Knight 2 as well. Spawn a helper, grab sword, throw it, grab your power back. Because I hate sword a lot. Your RNG is actually not bad. Okay. That dash was great. Get taunted. That's taunting for making me lose my ice for that fight, which would have made that fight incredibly easy. So yeah, just run for it. Ignore Meta Knight. Meta Knight will just go ahead and try to make your life miserable, but you can't damage him anymore, so... Escape the planet SR380. Wait, wrong end. Speaking of, yeah, there's other entries in the franchise where Samus does make appearances as cameos. Welcome to Milky Way Wishes. You know how you've been playing this entire game where you grab powers from things? That no longer works. Instead, we have something a little bit different I'm going to show you. Going to winner right here. Planet 1 Floria is seasonal, so you just want to manipulate the seasons to progress. Power pedestals. Once you grab this, you permanently have access to this power. For the purposes of the run itself, I will only be grabbing a couple powers, which is how I got the nickname Ice Queen, because I know how to just run through the game with as few as possible for this one. I don't have to grab Mirror later, but it's more of a franchise thing for me, so that's why I grab it. And I will probably use it at least one more time. So. Some of these passageways will not work for you if you are in a certain season, so just a matter of being able to remember when. But generally you want to stick to autumn or winter for your passageways. Twin Wispy Woods is insanely weak to ice. Oh, great boss. Can you see yourself ignoring Mirror? No, that's also a great pun. Each time you grab a star, you restore one part of the planet's power. You restore all your planet's powers to face the final boss. Aqualus is a pretty free planet as well. I haven't grabbed any other pedestals except for ice so far. Every planet has at least like 2, except for the secret planet, which only has 1. And it's not even a planet, it's actually a star. I'll point out where it is, but I'm not going to go in there because I don't need it. But we have skipped a lot of powers just grabbing the ones we need here. We're gonna grab the safety one up. Milky Way Witches is not a game that I do really bad on though, as opposed to Meta Knight, so... This is actually pretty safe to just play through. If you're new to the game though, you might get tripped up on a couple of these planets. So just feel free to grab more lives or just play it slow for the first couple times. As long as you're playing the game and having fun with it, that's the most important thing, right? If you can somehow, some way, like, find yourself doing what I just did and actually turning yourself into a balloon, you can go through water extremely quickly. And that in itself is its own thing. Going the top route as opposed to the bottom route will get you a 1-up, though. I just forgot to do it. But it's fine, I don't die on Milky Way, which is half as much as I die on Meta Knight. Boss 2 will be Heavy Whale number 2. Definitely different with ice instead of mirror, but it's still pretty free boss. Especially if you're lucky enough to freeze something, which we did, but we did not set it up like we did that one. Ice bricks deal a lot of damage. Alright, so if you want the secret planet, it's right here. Right where that star is. That'll give you Copy. I do not want that. Copy is the most busted helper power, but as Kirby, it's not that good. It will get you a one-use only kind of thing. But it gives you some things you wouldn't have access to normally, like Cook, for example. Which... that might be something I submit for one of these days, is getting the Cook power up. That's unfortunate. Pretty much passed all the really easy spots to actually use a Cook power-up too, sadly. So this is a little cloud maze right here. We're gonna go right twice. And then we're gonna be right at the boss. But there is power-ups in here, I believe, like Wing that you would find in there. I I did not mean to slide there, but it just kind of did anyways. When you're invincible, it kind of eats your inputs a lot. At least versus Krakow. So Sky High is not too bad. Hot Beat is where people usually start having problems. This is also one of the slow parts of the run too, because of the fact you don't have wing at this point to fly through these parts right here, which... if you grab fire from where that actual bomb block is, you would actually need to grab this invincibility coming up there and run backwards for it. Fire can help you charge through some of this a lot faster too, but it's on a much shorter leash than it is with Wing or Jet, which are available in Sky High. Grabbing this minecart, throwing it right there. And then you take the top route, because throwing on the bottom route will force the minecart to run through some of the switches, which will alter this a little bit and make it a little bit more difficult on you. Specifically that switch right there, which will raise a giant wall of fire in your face. Almost had it. I was a little bit too low on that one. Fortunately, there's a plentiful amount of tomatoes as well as 1-ups in Milky Way. It is nowhere near as difficult as Meta Knight is. It's a little bit faster to diagonally shoot yourself as opposed to just straight horizontal. Cameleo Arm is a boss that you did not see. This is your first time seeing it in this category, because it would be available first in the castle in Great Cave Offensive, and I'm not going to go in that castle, so... If you are interested, though, that is a unique power off of Cameleo Arm. If you eat one of the orbs that it shoots out, it's actually a paintball. And you get to have all sorts of dramatic flashing, and it's better to see it for yourself, as long as you're not photosensitive. I'm not going to show that off in this run, but check it out. It's actually fun. It's an incentive to actually play the game, and I do recommend playing this game. This actually would be the other chance to actually use Chef Kawasaki. Hold on. You know what? We're gonna do this. Let's feed the kids. Let's go. First one's free. We're gonna stick topside here, though. Oh, my cup. Aww. When you have a power and eat it like that, with something that isn't a power, it negates it. So that's why we don't have cook anymore. Or really anything. Trapping ninjas actually just prevented us from feeding the kids, and we're gonna go on a murderous rampage now. A rampage of frozen proportions. There's not really any other spots, except for one more, to actually take Chef Kawasaki power, and that spot is something I'm not gonna do because it involves changing my powers out in a gauntlet format, and I do not want to do that. I will, however, take Hammer. Hammer is ideal to run through here. It's what it's made for. It's also really ideal for throwing in Bugsy's face and dealing half of its life bar in 1 damage. We'll be switching back to ice soon enough, but I just wanted to show off how freaking strong that hammer actually is. Okay, Wham Bam Rock. Actually, no. Hammer's better for this. Unlimited hammers, even. Takes out about a third of its life bar, which isn't too bad. Third. There you go. Didn't miss the last one at all, right? First try. I see we have our pun master in the audience today. Ah, glorious. That guy has good music. Also has a power that, if you take this power, which is Yo-Yo, you're gonna maybe save a little bit of time doing it. So it's kind of negligible whether you do or you don't. You don't need the 1-up, because this game is really hard to game over in. I'm actually going to grab the Yo-Yo here, but it's completely not necessary to at all. Again, it saves very little time. May even be slightly slower too, but you can float your way up that tunnel really fast to offset it. Fortunately, while you were spinning, you were invincible. That's pretty much the only time I need Yo-Yo for anything. Third one up. Turns out nobody likes hammers being thrown in their face. Even the wielder of it. Hammer does not deal as much damage, though, this fight. Hammer resistance. And not ice resistance. Half Moon with its awesome music and questionable gameplay. Because there's ninjas, and you saw how much damage one ninja did earlier, so... taking this a little bit slower. Way faster here to take a warp star, so go ahead and do that. Unless you take, like, jet through there or something, or wing. Okay, that kind of worked. In order to progress here, you either need to take the mine carts, or you need to take some sort of power-up like stone or hammer. I've died doing that before. But grabbing mirror is worth dying for. Here you go. Little momentum just threw me off the ledge there, it's fine. That's why you grab hammer. Make that part really easy. Your last power in the game right there is going to be ninja and that block right there. I'm not going to grab it. Because the ninja command has died from the RGL bot and it makes me sad. Maybe one day like James Bond it'll return. RPG 2. This one we're going to see Witch, we're going to see Red Dragon, which is something we haven't seen yet. And also Knight, which is what we're going to see one more time. Yep. Hammer is really, really strong. Hammer throw is definitely inside the pause menu, which will tell you how to use all your different powers for each one you pick up. If you press pause, it'll say like item description. Like hammer uppercuts pretty much new, like in terms of like things that you would normally not see too often, but it's like stupid powerful in my runs. Greediness points are bad. Appetite points are not good either, but love points always are. Speaking of appetite points, you know kids are hungry, so if you got a little bit of extra money lying around this holiday season, just toss it in the old donation, and we'll be coming up on the cutoff for the second gourmet race after Arena, so as of what I'm seeing right now, it's about $50 more will get us towards that second gourmet race for leftovers. Ever seen a shmup in Kirby? Yeah, there you go. Very genre-defying back then. Speaking of shmups, coming up next weekend, I'm going to be playing one of my favorites, and you'll all join me for that one a little bit. Could be next Friday, anytime I'm right. Because we have, after this weekend, we have our Coin-Op Classic, which is going to be quite a doozy of all the goody arcade games you'll ever want to see. Kind of on autopilot, which is actually a bad thing in this game. Yep. Never knew that was a thing, really. I am glad I showed you guys some new tech then. Speaking of new tech, part of Nova, I am going to kill the first 4, skip the 5th, kill the 6th and 7th, because once you kill the next to last one, it's going to force you backwards like it's right now, and you don't want to get forced back into that one that's like lower to the ground like that, because you'll take a ton of damage doing that, so. Pick this one that has a way easier way of steering to clear it instead of that little thing right there. Because you'll most likely die doing that if you've taken any hits before that. It technically isn't right now because we haven't come across this boss yet, but we will shortly, spoiler alert. Well, not really a spoiler alert, but... Since I'm already on Hammer, I'm going to show you how easy it is with Hammer, and then I'm going to do it better by doing something much harder than Hammer. I knew that was coming. It was just a matter of when. That's why I didn't go in for the kill right there. Get away from that, do not get near it, do not try to guard near it, or you will get taken for a ton of pain. And we're not talking about pain from Final Fantasy X-2 either. Alright. Once we see Kirby taking a nap, reset. Then we're going to come up on what is technically my end of the run, which will be the arena. The arena is a gauntlet. You will take one power, and you're going to run with it. I'm going to take ice, because ice is nice. Oh, and we start with this. Okay. I'm glad I got out of the pool real quick so I can show you how busted this is. This is why I wanted ice for that fight. Rude. That's unfortunate. The drop down took forever too, which was weird. But yeah, ice is a great power up. I can't do anything with Chef Kawasaki here, so sadly I'm not going to take it. But next year, I'll submit this again, and then we'll probably feed the kids, and I'll make sure to at least leave some incentive for that. Bugsy, as I mentioned, is extremely weak to ice. Already dead. Remember me wanting to show off DDD earlier? I couldn't. I had to show it off with Beam, which was weird. Here's Ice again, being a stupid good power-up. Now, DDD does have lunges in his arsenal on his RNG switches, so just take a couple steps back every once in a while to make sure you're not standing next to him just in case he jumps into you. Heavy Lobster. This is what, 4? 5? Something like that. You fight this thing a lot. I knew it was coming one of these days. That's bad. I need that. And I lost it. Alright, time to improvise. Jello! I forgot that was a power-up. It doesn't turn into anything, it's just a projectile throw. Improvising with best weapon in the game, ironically. Definitely not the way I wanted to go about this, but it is what it is. This does make this fight really slow, though. I'm not losing another power to that. Okay, that was not a good fatty oil 3, but that's what it is. Doing it with hammer is way harder than doing it with mirror ice. I'm checking to see if the powers are actually going to turn back into ice or mirror. Because I've already shown off hammer marks, and that's really easy. Kinda want to challenge myself a little bit here. You do not have defense against some stuff when you're trying to... when you're trying to guard normally without some sort of extra defense like ice or mirror or stone. So you can get bonked by stones, and it does hurt you. Also, a couple things in RPG and other things will actually hurt you as well. I don't trust you. This is a really bad arena run. No. Absolutely not. I'm not letting you kill me like that. You get to see attack RNG that is... Oh god. Actually can't guard there, that would kill me. Okay. Scary Wham Bam 3. So instead of freezing these to death, we're gonna uppercut them. Sorry for the lack of energy there, had to focus to make sure I didn't die midway through. Hammer is really powerful. And also pretty safe against combo cannon too, except for getting grabbed, which is annoying. Usually it goes between 1 to 4 shots. Dynablade with hammer is fairly easy. Dynablade 2, this is not a power I want to use for this, but it's better than what we had access to a second ago. I got a little bit greedy there. You can damage it while it's in that animation, but not on the first time it introduces itself. Oh god. That's a terrible spot for that. Okay, so we just lost like 4 or 5 minutes, but we're gonna finish the run. We're gonna take something a little safer this time though. Sorry for the arena death, that was really unfortunate. We're gonna be behind Estimate a little bit, I think. Actually no, we're gonna be ahead of Estimate still, but... not in the way I want it to be. And now we get our revenge on this. The only thing you get damaged by when you're using mirror as opposed to hammer or anything else is getting grabbed or getting bonked. You are protected from projectiles with mirror 100% of the time. Unless it's marks, then you get laser beam, and that's not fun for anybody. It's the first time he drops it, so he's not going to actually grab them again, like he did in the extended fight. Wispy Woods 1, exactly as it is in Spring Breeze. There is a little bit of iframe there, so... Unless you're dashing. And it's our favorite champion. What'll do? What'll do can still kill you, so don't underestimate him. If you're careless. But you know, just juggle him instead. The first time you do not have to worry about any sort of shenanigans, but the other times you have to be pretty careful as you can get vaulted into getting bonked from that. I was thinking I was on ice there. That is not okay though. It's fun to get good times in Arena. Like a really good time would be like 9 and change. Everything I'm doing right now is bad though, so I don't recommend it. I'm using what's comfortable to me as opposed to what's meta though. I need that back. Technically you can just sit here and like fire hold and it's fine. And you're pretty safe doing that. I was just trying to get gutsy because I keep thinking I'm on ice instead of mirror. That can still damage you. I should not have done that. Okay. Get a revenge on this thing from earlier. Sumo guy can grab you a lot though. Be careful with that. Wheel is the ultimate power. Wheel is the ultimate helper power. Fatty whale on ice or a mirror is really good. But what everybody considers meta in this game for attacks and power-ups, that's the best part about this game. It gives you a lot of options. You can even go through the game on copy and beat the arena, but it's actually really, really weird. The hitbox on it is very small. I don't really want to take damage to this. Because that would actually be embarrassing. DD is really free. I'm not gonna worry about that. How dare you hit me? Art Nova with this low of health, I absolutely will not risk that. Because even getting touched on scraping yourself on a wall here is an insane amount of damage. And it would have easily killed me. Being at like 25% health. It takes like, I think about 25% health to bump into a wall in this, so yeah, that would definitely kill me. Chameleon Arm is not really a scary fight on Mirror. Nor is it on Ice. On Hammer it's a little bit frustrating because of your really small hitboxes. Good. Grab. Okay. Halberd Reactor is not too bad. Getting the right amount of time while floating, though, is a little bit irritating. Also, you cannot reflect that projectile. That thing will just bonk you. I actually thought it was going to go charge cannon before it did lasers. That's my fault for misguessing. It has to be this one. Because that's just going to flat out miss. Or, you know, I'm just going to be wrong every time I open my mouth, so we're just going to keep opening our mouth. But at least with the cannon gone, we're actually going to be in a more chill position for this. Mirror Knight is not as good as Ice Knight, but we're going to run with it. But with Mirror, you can actually cheese that fight because all those projectiles get reflected. Diagonal hitbox for dash jump. Yeah, it's actually kind of awkward to use. That's why you're not going to see me do it very often. As opposed to just straight melees. .76 is about the max damage per turn you can do while you're actually in RPG on Mirror, so... This is going to be a lot slower than either Hammer. It's actually a little bit faster than Ice, because Ice doesn't have a lot of good things except for damage per second. Which is actually kind of bad in this format, so I think Mirror is actually the second strongest here as opposed to Ice for what I normally use. Swings an axe. Doesn't say how many times he swings it, so you think it's only once, right? No, it's twice. Retreating is a defensive stance. It lowers your damage by a lot. So we only did 20 instead of 76 there. And I messed up the dash once. At least I don't have to sit through all the text animation this time. Dynablade. Yeah, I don't trust her. Dynablade is the other boss that's kind of awful for me, besides Marks. I'm actually gonna go overestimate slightly, but I was under on Power Rangers, so it's okay. Actually, about even. And that's how you actually deal with Dynablade. You just sit up in her face and get her at max distance. Heavy Lobster Final is funny. It's actually really free. I let go too early, that's my fault. Try to get a little bit too greedy on damage to chase my time backwards a little bit, but it ended up costing me a lot more. Mirror Marks is exactly what you think it is, it's jump rope. Because your jump direction when you're using mirror dashes is erratic, it's actually not a safe strat as opposed to just straight melees. Aww. I want to do damage less. Normally, whenever it's up in the air like that, it would normally come down like it does to the floor there. If it does not, you can pretty much expect a laser like almost 100% of the time. On mirror, you can fully reflect that, or just ignore it. But it ignores all the damage regardless. $10.34, that's a terrible arena. Yikes. Oh well. That's the run though. Oh gosh. I don't know what to say about this run. This is way worse than the ones I did previously for the other events. But in all the spots that it isn't normally bad for me. But you know what? It's okay. Because it's all about feeding the kids, and it's all about being here for each other and spending this Thanksgiving Day weekend together. Thank you for the GGs in chat, everybody. I am, like, I don't think I'm behind schedule, but I don't have much more to say beyond that. Stick around, there's plenty of good games coming up for the remainder of the weekend. Coming up next will be Shema with Anno 1602. You'll see me again on Sunday for the finale with a much easier game. And you'll see me in chat here the rest of the night. So I love you all. Take care. Feed the kids. Let's raise some money for a good cause. See you next time.